What's up, guys? Arab is here once again with some more Dark Souls 3 PvP fun times. This one's going to be a little bit different today. We're going to be across a few different characters and builds and level ranges and whatnot. And we do have a theme this time. Sometimes I have themes. It's not just random invasion clips. And the theme today is when hosts give up. Sometimes, you know, when you're in an invasion, you'll run into a host that just is all vim and vigor when they've got backup. And then once they're by themselves, just completely cowered out. And that can lead to a few things. It can lead to them killing themselves, or disconnections, or, you know, just standing static and just letting you end it. It can go a few different ways, but it's always funny, whatever happens. Now, this first host, it does not seem as going to go that route, at least at first. So now I've taken out his Sunbro already, and he's now backed into this little room here, and it looks to me like we're going to have a fight. And as it happens, we do for a while. So this for a little bit is just a nice 1v1. Unfortunately for him, I used the Exile Greatsword on one of my characters. Actually, on my meta build. I have a meta strength build, and that's one of the weapons that he uses. It was his main weapon. Now I kind of switch around between a few different weapon types, but I still use it a lot. So I'm pretty familiar with the attack patterns and frames and everything on the Exile. So I'm able to outspace things like his R2 pretty efficiently. Outspace and then come in for the punish. And so essentially what I'm doing here is just constantly punishing, and he's constantly drinking. Get that beautiful R2 roll catch of the club. The Great Club's R2 is just amazing for roll catching. There I did a terrible job of spacing. Thought I might hit him out of his animation. He's dancing around a little bit. He's excited he hit me. Which I'd be excited too. So that's fine. Go ahead and go for the roll on that R2. I do that a couple times, I believe. Thinking of trying to go for roll backstabs and just letting R1s happen if not. Tried to just tank there and trade with my R2. Didn't get my hyper armor started yet, sadly, so that didn't work. Outspaced that one, but he's able to roll out of it before he's able to roll out of my hit, rather. So good for him. This is actually going quite well overall. I mean, I have made him drink quite a lot, so it is definitely going in my favor, but I feel like it's a pretty decent little battle here. Pretty okay one-on-one little duel. So I'm enjoying this immensely at this point. Just punishing his whiffed attacks, really just spacing really well since I know the weapon as well as I do. And just whittling down his Estus. I'm fine to just keep on doing this for as long as he has Estus. I'm not in a hurry, and so that's a-okay with me. It's a-okay with him for a while as well, like I said, because this has gone on for, you know, a couple minutes now, so he's done a pretty respectable job of facing me like a man. But that time is now over, as he's out of Estus. So now he's running. And I wouldn't think that there's anywhere really to run to past the bonfire. Bonfire seems like the best place to go. But now I see his game plan. It's suicide o'clock. Rather die to anything but me, I suppose. Bye. GG nonetheless, though. Like I said, we had a really good little 1v1 going on there for a while before he booked it. Now here, I have invaded in one of my favorite and least favorite areas simultaneously. I like some of the enemy support here. I like the level design in a lot of ways, but it can be incredibly difficult to find people, which I don't like. But it didn't take me too long to find good old Sibley Sib here. And so we're just going to go ahead and initiate a little 1v1 to begin. And doing a pretty good job putting in some work with that halberd. I'm at a bit of a disadvantage here, which he's starting to learn. He has a lot more range on me. He has a good amount of damage on me with that weapon. He definitely has a good deal of stamina damage as well. And here comes the Farron just clubbing away. Stupid watchdogs. So I'm just going to stand here for a second because he's clearly locked onto me. Clearly coming for me with his big old club. So I'm coming out to the water now because I'm thinking the host won't follow, and that way if I have to dispatch the watchdog before I can deal with the host, I can do so. But now it seems the watchdog is going for the host, so I'm thinking what happened is they probably thought they got summoned as a blue or something, and realized after my confused reaction perhaps that they were indeed a watchdog. Now I'm just kind of watching this play out because I don't know what's going on. The watchdog has retreated to where the Black Knight hangs out, even though the host is not going that way at all. So I follow the host out here. I'm nice at first because I just don't know what's happening. But then I decide, you know what, watchdog's gone, host is booking. I'm gonna come in for the kill. Host is doing his best Sonic the Hedgehog impression, aggroing virtually every enemy in the level here, and booking it. So now I'm keeping an eye on that watchdog as much as I can because I don't know what their plan is here. If they've learned their lesson and they're going to stay on the host, or if they're just kind of one of those people that will attack whatever's around them, because there are certainly players like that. But he seems to be leaving me alone. The host has gotten rid of his weapon entirely. He's just two-handing his shield. And he apparently wants to die to the Black Knight. Rather than either of us chaps up here. So I decide I'm going to just enjoy the little show here. He's going to try to survive as long as he can, which is not too long. And just give him a nice patch of squat to watch the events unfold. And Watchdog goes for a cheers, so good on him. And these chaps I'm going to give a nice wave to here. I get a bow from the Phantom, and it looks like a beckon from the host, which is hilarious, considering how this ends up going. But I got shot with an arrow, so I didn't get to see all of it. So I go and bow to the Phantom, who's praising the sun here. I'm down to have a 1v1 with this guy, if that's what's going to happen. Spoiler alert, of course it's not. But that's okay. I wasn't really expecting it. Since he bowed to me, I wanted to bow back and be a bit honorable. He's switching back and forth between two-handing that giant weapon and going with the shield. Now he starts going with some poison mist, which is quite interesting. Get a parry on the host here. The Tickler, which is more than a little bit creepy, but that's okay. Get a parry riposte, force him to back up and drink. And now this guy's throwing out some vestiges. So he seems to be fairly high-leveled between the different sort of things he's got going on here. But I get the guard break on him a second time, and this time I'm able to get the riposte. And Phantom is out of the game. Host starts R1 spamming, so I give him a wake-up parry. Miss that. But the Tickler's off. And just immediately jumps off the cliff and kills himself. Because, once again, better to die to anything than me, I guess. But bye? Now here, I'm not sure where the squad's at. Oh, hello. Sunbro was fighting the Evangelist, so I decided to get involved and got plunged for my efforts. Good tactic there. Gin Shishi. I don't know if it's Gin Shishi or Jin Shishi or what, but whatever. Just going to call you Shishi. Good job, Shishi, on that drop attack. That was very well played. Start battling out with Shishi a little bit here, and the other team comes in. And this is about curtains for me, but one of them backed off just enough that I was able to get some space, get out of that trap. Go ahead and get a heal off. And now I'm off because they've cleared this area of enemies, and I'm not going to deal with all 3 of them with no enemy support. So I'm back down a little bit, get my health up. Hodrick's now in play, and I'm going to see where they're at. They're right here, so I go ahead and give Shishi a nice little backstab during their spell. Sunbro blocks my exit for a second, but then gets out of the way. And Shishi is just coming strong. Now I've got them all here, but they're backing off from Hodrick. The host and the Sunbro are, at least. Now they're dealing with Hodrick. I've got Shishi, it looks like, to myself, at least for a bit. But then the Sunbro comes in, and I'm a bit sad because that takes that away. But that also means the host is dealing with Hodrick by himself. And I've got the Machete Man on my side. So I'm doing okay. Nice little 2v2. Shishi pulling out the 2 different swords tactic. Great sword in the right hand, straight sword in the left. Pretty nice. But I know he's coming for it because he switched to it. So I'm able to get the parry on him after that anticipation and take him out. The Sunbro now backs down to help the host with Hodrick. Host looks like he's overall doing fine on his own, but it is what it is. Sunbro retreats in here to get a heal, and I completely mess up my backstab there. But now he's backing down further. The host is not here. So at first I think, oh great, I'm going to get him alone too. But at about that same time, the host kills Hodrick, and we're back to a 2-on-1. But 2-on-1 I can handle. I can make this work. And now they go for the plunges, or at least the Sunbro went for the plunge entirely too early, so he doesn't get it, which is great for me. Gets another running attack with that katana. I go ahead and give him a little turn and burn, and Machete Man takes him down, and the host is gone. Now that his friends are dead, he's quite frightened. He is just booking it and really making some progress. So he goes static there for a minute, and I got a little bit scared that he might disconnect. He didn't. He turns and fights me, which was good on him. Goes for the R1 spam that I saw him give Hodrick, so I'm able to get the parry and riposte. He's fat rolling, which I have to imagine was not... No, it had to be intentional. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt and say maybe he was switching his equipment when he was static, but I don't think he did. I think he's just a fat roller. He tried to go for a parry, it didn't work. He tried to roll, it didn't work. So he's back to booking it. To give him some credit, he's at least tried a couple times in the middle of his running. Here he goes static, and again, I think the disconnect is coming, but he just wants to parry. So I switch to my dagger. Right in his face, I switch to it, telegraphing, hey, I'm about to try to backstab you. And he just sits there just parrying. Oh boy. He'd clearly given up, tying into the theme of the episode here. He had clearly given up and just decided to parry. Nice sneak attack opener from this gen. Sadly for him, not for me, but sadly for him, I was checking the corners inside as I was coming, so I saw that charge happening and was able to avoid it. Go ahead and walk around him to try to get a backstab. Don't get it. So just going to throw out some R1s here. So there's a bit of a feeling out stage to see what he's going to do. He shows me he's got a dark hand on him as well. So I'm expecting that suck weapon art at some point. Not so far though. So I don't know if maybe he's going to try to use it as a shield. Nope, there comes the weapon art. So that's fine. I can outspace that pretty easily and or roll it. Went ahead and interrupted it that time. I don't really like trying to interrupt the weapon art because I'm never sure when it's going to and when it's not. Like there, interrupted it again. But I think there's going to be another time that he does that when it's not going to work. But he's now switched to the medium shield. He's going to go for some parries. I tried a setup parry there, but he wisely did not strike twice. He struck once and then circled me a little bit before striking again. So good on him. He has tried to block a couple times as well, so I went for the D-shield weapon art. Didn't get that. Went for the parry punish backstab. Didn't get that either. So I'm just R1ing a fair amount. This time he does fall for the setup parry. So I'm able to punish him there. And I still haven't had to drink any Estus, and I've had made him drink several times. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. Trying not to get cocky or anything, but feeling pretty confident. Come back in to try to punish the charged attack. Don't get it. See, that time I did not interrupt the weapon art from the Dark Hand. Luckily for me, I had enough time to roll out. There it just missed because that weapon art has a really weird range/hitbox thing. It's I don't know. It's funky. I find that it doesn't hit very often. Go for the Barker Bomb Bait. He is far too well versed in PvP to fall for that. So he walks around to go for the backstab. Luckily, I'm able to get out of the backstab, so he doesn't get it. But good on him for trying. He knew what I was going for, and went for the punish. So that was good. Not that I particularly want to give this gent any compliments, given what comes at the end of this, but got to give credit where credit's due, and he's doing a good job. He's not a bad player at all. There I am able to get the backstab on him before he's able to turn around with his swing. So that was beneficial. Go for the guard break again because he has been turtling around me a little bit. But he dropped his shield. And more going now for a block and circle around method rather than setup parry. I'm not thinking he's going to fall for that again. Though I could be wrong. Goes and uses a Divine Blessing, so I know he really wants to win this. Blocking with his sword, so I tried to break the guard on that with some swings. Wasn't able to do so. Going with another parry that doesn't help me at all. And again. I've never denied being a total parry king. But yeah, those parries just aren't working for me at all. Trying to circle around him a little bit like he was doing to me before. It's not really working out for me too well. But I'm trying. I'm trying what I can. His greatsword and his shield are a pretty good setup. And with my little longsword, there's not a ton I can do because I can't trade with him. And he knows that, so he brought me in on that one because he normally will only hit once or twice to avoid parries. So he brought me in by swinging twice at the air and actually having stamina for a couple more attacks. So good on him for that one. Goes for the parry, and I'm able to circle around him and backstab. Going for a weird parry there. He really wants that parry. So I just start walking around him and R1ing every now and again. And that's going well for me. He gets the guard break on me because I blocked entirely too long. But unfortunately for him, he's unable to take the riposte. He does get a nice counter hit, but riposte would have been a better option. So now I'm just keeping the pressure up, particularly when he rolls. I'm trying to roll out of his attacks and just punish him whenever I can. But now he's done. He's done and goes ahead and kills himself because he doesn't have Estus anymore. And again, better to die to anything else than to me, I suppose. Him I give a point down for the cowardly tactic. At which point I received this lovely gift. Ha, okay, kid, get good. All you do is BS fish, you faggot. Didn't look like what happened to me. Even if it was, who cares? Backstabbing is a mechanic. But either way, that's all I got for you today, folks. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.